howdy doody. Howdy doody.
I know this is the only copy, Paul. You've never made any copies because you're superstitious. That's why you always come back to the Silver Creek Lodge. You told that story to Merv Griffin 11 years ago.
Parasocial relationships are the bane of our collective existence. The 1990 film Misery is on the docket today. My frame of reference for the two actors starring in this movie, Kathy Bates and James Caan, is The Waterboy, The Office, The Godfather, of course, and Elf. So I'm excited to see how their dynamic unfolds in this movie. Thanks for watching this movie with me today. Nice to cross paths with you. I'm Mr. Valentine. If you want early access to all of these movies I upload on YouTube, go ahead and navigate over to the Patreon. And if it's within your means, support the channel over yonder. Also here on YouTube, I'm recently a YouTube partner, so I can offer memberships, which grants you a curated comment section, members only content, and a plethora of other perks. I appreciate all of my patrons over there on the Patreon. You do you the best, like the philosopher Drake once said, and I appreciate all of my subscribers. We're inching toward 1,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already, hit that subscriber button. And without further ado, Misery, 1990. Let's go. Finishing up a little bit of prose. What better way to celebrate than pouring some champagne, a celebratory cancer stick. Lauren Bacall, the quintessential femme fatale. That's a pleasant surprise. All right, this guy's bold. He's driving mightily fast for it to be snowing, as hard as it is. Well, things got topsy-turvy real fast. All right. A savior. A savior has arrived.
I'm your #1 fan. There's nothing to worry about.
Oh, no. Uh-oh, that's not what you want to hear.
I'm your #1 fan.
That's intense. She has an intense look already. A nurse saves you from death, ostensibly. Nursing you back to health. And she's your #1 fan. So, what could go wrong?
What are they?
They're called Novril. They're for your pain.
They massacred my boy. They massacred my boy.
I come from that hospital.
The blizzard was too strong. I couldn't risk trying to get you there. I tried calling, but the phone lines are down.
That's rather convenient for your #1 fan.
I had around the house. I think there's a doctor who could have done any better. The tibia in both legs and the fibula in the right leg is fractured too.
Nah, dude. I don't like the way that looks at all. This dude, his legs were obliterated.
And as soon as the road's open, take you to a hospital. In the meantime, you've got a lot of recovering to do. And I consider it an honor you'll do it in my home.
She seems pleasant. Nothing nefarious about this situation inherently.
Kind of a miracle you finding me.
No, it wasn't a miracle at all. In a way, I was following you.
In a way? What way might that be? The creepy way or the stalker way? Not mutually exclusive.
Some nights I just tool on down there and sit outside and look up at the light in your cabin and imagine what was going on in the room of the world's greatest writer.
No. Oh, snap. She's radiating malicious vibes.
Oh, Paul, I've read everything of yours. The Misery novels. I know them all by heart. All 8 of them. I love them.
By heart? It's a magnificent obsession.
You want to read it?
You'll never realize what a rare treat you've given me.
Yeah, I get the sneaking suspicion it's gonna dawn on him very soon.
Clockwork, the way your pain comes. I'll get you your novel, Paul. Forgive me for prattling away and making you feel all oogie.
Making you feel all oogie. Hey Siri, define the word oogie. I like the performance Kathy Bates is giving thus far, though. It's magnetic.
I don't think Mr. Sheldon likes for things to be out of the ordinary. Drives up from New York in the same car each time. 65 Mustang.
He's a creature of habit. Aren't we all?
you write is brilliant.
Pretty rough stuff.
The swearing, Paul.
Uh-oh. She's cut from a Puritan cloth.
What do you think I say when I go to the feed store in town? Oh, now, Wally, give me a bag of that effing pig feed. And in the bank, do I tell Mrs. Bollinger, oh, here's one big bastard of a check. Give me some of your Christing money. See what you made me do.
So she is off her rocker. She's a basket case. She just tipped her hand.
Sometimes I get so worked up. Can you ever forgive me?
He's looking like, yes, fine. Just, what about those telephone lines? Oh, brilliant acting. Talk about brilliance. That's brilliant acting. He sees he found himself in, let's say, a predicament. He is ensconced in a conundrum, a dilemma of epic proportions. She's ready to bite his head off because he wrote the F word in the book. Oh, that's glorious.
When you're in this car, you're not my wife, you're my deputy.
Deputy'd rather be home under the covers with the sheriff.
She's trying to be fulfilled. She wants to make the beast with two backs expeditiously.
Need some help? No, I'm enjoying myself.
Marital tension is timeless. Oh, shit. That musical sting we just heard signifies her being up to no good.
I called the hospital and I talked to the head orthopedic surgeon and I told him who you were and what had happened.
He is up the creek without a paddle.
I'm afraid you'll have to wait till tomorrow if you want to talk to her yourself. Oh, Paul, what a poet you are.
Oh, man. She is giving me the heebie-jeebies. Oh, life can turn at the drop of a hat. One moment you're in a cabin, finishing up a very experimental novel. The next moment, your car is upside down, and you're being rescued by a fan with a chemical imbalance. C'est la vie. What you doing, babe? This movie's starting to get hog wild.
My Sal, Misery.
Misery.
Yes, I told you I was your #1 fan.
Yeah, you're really driving that point home. You can't stress that enough.
Only 2 divine things ever in this world.
No, dude. I am feeling cringe mixed with loathing, mixed with sheer entertainment.
Just kept reading them over and over. I know when I finish, I'll just turn right to the first page and start reading it all over again.
This whole time, he was micturating in a jar.
I'd love to stay here and chat, but I'm right at the end, and I gotta find out what happens.
The word overzealous is an understatement. She has the intensity of a sports fan and the disposition of the leader of Selena's fan club.
You dirty bird.
You dirty bird.
Misery Chastain cannot be dead.
And you murdered her! No, I didn't.
This is how I felt at the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. Or it's equivalent to my feelings when I was reading Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and spoiler alert, 1, 2, 3, Dumbledore died.
You didn't just slip away! You did it! You did it! You did it!
She can't be for real. Is this a fever dream, or is she really this wacko?
Don't even think about anybody coming for you, because I never called them. Because if I die, you die.
She has checked out. She's doing all this over a buck. I mean, yeah, the fandom realm has people with this much passion over creative works, but this is being escalated to a worrisome degree. And what is he to do? What is he to do, dude? He's as powerless as Jimmy Stewart in Rear Window. Shout out Alfred Hitchcock. Instead of seeing another person in danger from afar, he's emotionally and psychologically disconnected from his own situation because he can't do anything but witness it and crawl to the door in one last ditch effort to find safety. Of course the door is locked. Why wouldn't it be? This is a very powerful low shot.
What are you doing on the floor?
She's a domineering presence. I like the premise of this movie. The premise alone is stimulating. This is a wild movie, dude.
When I mentioned a snack, I was thinking more along the lines of cheese and crackers, kind of.
Oh.
That was an exquisite line reading by James Caan.
My agent made dozens of copies. There's going to be an auction in New York. Every publishing house in New York is reading it now.
Then light the match, Paul.
Mm.
I know this is the only copy, Paul. You've never made any copies because you're superstitious. That's why you always come back to the Silver Creek Lodge. You told that story to Merv Griffin 11 years ago.
Parasocial relationships are the bane of our collective existence. Oh.
We're put on this earth to help people, Paul.
Her evil knows no bounds. Annie has no redeeming qualities.
Goodness gracious! Oh, my!
That's devastating.
Okay, first...
This is such a rich character depiction. He has no godforsaken idea what those pills are. So he's like, okay, maybe these are retarding the healing process.
Great. I always wanted to visit the other side of the room.
Whoever created sarcasm needs to be memorialized.
You're gonna write a new novel.
You just expect me to whip something off, is that it?
I expect nothing less than your masterpiece.
Oh, she's expecting him to write his magnum opus under duress. Oh.
Concentrate on your work.
My mental faculties are stimulated.
You fooler. Did I do good?
You did great.
Oh my gosh. She is a psychological degenerate.
See, it's graspable, Bond. It smudges.
It does smudge after all. Isn't that fascinating?
I do everything to try and make you happy. I feed you, I clean you, I dress you, and what thanks do I get? Oh, you bought the wrong paper, Annie. I can't write on this paper, Annie.
This movie is riveting.
Appreciation around here, Mr. Man.
Ah. Oh, well, that's a crucial development. Got her out of the house, but there's a price to pay. This doesn't seem like his first rodeo. He really is about that life, like he wrote in that book she objected to. Get out of there. I mean, how? What would you do first? Just get out of the house or find a phone? What if she left that bobby pin down there on purpose? Like a scene straight out of the Saw films. That is cold-blooded. Oh man, he is taking his time. Of course she has a shrine dedicated to him. Why wouldn't she? Because his works are enshrined in her system of thought. Yeah. Go ahead and get knives out like Britney Spears. This is really showcasing the exceptional benefit of the cinematic medium. Parallel action and camera cuts really draws the audience in. I'm feeling such a sense of immediacy right now.
Paul, you're dripping with perspiration.
I like her diction.
I want my pain to go away, Annie.
It just
breaks my heart to see you like this.
Yeah, I bet it does. I bet you can't sleep at night for treating him the way you are.
The main reason I've never been more popular is because of my temper. You must be so mad at me.
I think it's safe to say that one has flew over the cuckoo's nest.
In case you think of any ideas, think of me as your inspiration.
Ah, yeah, she has a lot of grist for the mill. If you have her as your inspiration, you have an abyss of torture from which to draw. Have a break in the case, for Christ's sake. There we go. We've located the sting.
He never crawled out of that car by himself. See the dents on the door there. Someone pulled him out.
A policeman worth his salt. Oh, I thought he was about to do a little bugger sugar. He is being very resourceful. Yeah. Fuck indeed. Life imitates art, art imitates life is appropriate and reflective of the morass of moral depravity in which he finds himself.
Well, my favorite thing in all the world was to go to the movies on Saturday afternoons for the chapter plays.
Cliffhangers.
I know that, Mr. Man. They all...
Mr. Man.
Just before the car went off the cliff, he jumped free, and all the kids cheered. But I didn't cheer.
Kathy Bates is sensational in this movie.
All got amnesia? They just cheated us. He didn't get out of the Cocky-Doody car.
Cocky-Doody. She just wants a little narrative continuity. That's all.
Oh, Paul. Misery must be Lady Evelyn Hyde's long-lost daughter. Because of the rarity of deadly bee stings, my heart just leapt. I've known...
It's like that Paul Allen in American Psycho. The empty laughter.
Oh, Misery's alive! Misery's alive! Oh, it's so romantic.
This bitch is detached from reality.
Oh.
Is she wearing a doily around her neck? Wait, what's a doily?
Some a toast.
A toast?
Yes, to misery.
To misery.
To this movie.
Did you study decorating, or do you just have a flair?
Oh, you.
Oh, yeah.
I just...
He's about to Bill Cosby her with some benevolence, though.
If anyone had ever told me that one day I'd be having a candlelit dinner with Paul Sheldon in my own house, I would have checked both legs to see which one was being pulled.
What a delightful turn of phrase.
Oh, Paul, I get goosebumps every time I think about it. Oh.
That's great writing, but horrible for the diegesis. Uh-oh, a nice Dutch angle. Things are about to heat up. That's what the director is telling us, Rob Reiner.
Here's your pills.
Annie? Annie, what is it?
Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay?
When you first came here, I only loved the writer part of Paul Sheldon. Now I know I love the rest of him too.
All right, you know she's BANANAS when she's speaking of him in the third person when he's smack dab in the room.
Soon you'll be wanting to leave.
Why would I leave? I like it here.
That's very kind of you. But I'll bet it's not altogether true.
I mean, yeah, that's a safe bet. If I were a betting man, I would place a large wager on that. Come on, bro. Why bring ammunition into this? And she's spiraling even more so than usual, psychologically. And all he can do is sit and wait. Yeah, stick a knife in her. She's done. Presumed dead. Memory lane. If she has her way, he would be a memory in the mind of America. Oh, so she's a serial killer then. Silly me. for thinking this is her first foray into the kidnapping business. Yeah, go ahead, get your reps in, like Walter White. I cannot wait to see this movie's denouement. I can't wait to see how this plays out. Whoa! Howdy doody. Howdy doody. That was an exquisite use of a jump scare.
Paul,
He's like he was having a wet dream.
you've been out of your room.
No, I haven't.
My little ceramic penguin in the study always faces due south.
Is that Moonlight Sonata playing in the background? It's an appropriate choice.
Do you know what they did to the native workers who stole diamonds? If they caught them, they had to make sure they could go on working, but they also had to make sure they could never run away. The operation was called hobbling.
Oh, come on. This is a frightening allegory. Oh my God. This is unseemly, uncouth, and a third un to finish this beat.
Trust me,
God's sake.
it's for the best.
You can't be for real.
God, I love you.
That is a hell of a way to show it. That is her indeed. You have found the culprit. You have found the ne'er-do-well.
Such a kidder.
If anybody has ever deserved a cinematic middle finger, it is Annie Wilkerson.
You been buying anything odd lately?
Typing kind.
Nothing odd about that.
Ms. Wilkes done something?
Not a thing.
Why are you keeping under the wraps? Call the NSA, CIA, FBI. Call Edward Snowden, for Christ's sake.
I understand you. I test you practically 24 hours a day, and you continue to fight me.
That's a clever contraption.
What do you want to know?
Well, anything you could tell me might help.
Well, he was born in Worcester, Massachusetts, 45 years ago.
Yeah. By all means. Give us his biography.
Here I am, prattling on, and my manners have just flown away. I haven't invited you in. Please. Of course, you must know all about that horrible accident.
Will this sheriff make it out, though?
Or would you like a nice hot cup of cocoa?
I don't
It's
care.
no trouble. There's some already made.
Don't turn your back to her, bro. Do not turn your back to her. Because I feel like she's going to come back with far more than cocoa.
Here you are.
Glorious misdirection. Building up tension just to release it. And boom goes the dynamite.
Miss Wilkes, are you all right?
Here! I'm down here! Down here!
Oh, shit.
Mr. Sheldon?
Well, Cocky-Doody.
Don't feel bad, Paul. It was bound to happen sooner or later.
That is a travesty. And a tragedy.
Now, don't be afraid. I love you.
I love you too.
I can't handle my feels right now.
We are meant to be together. We must finish the book.
But the time is now. Soon others will come.
The clock's run out. Time's up. Over. Plow. She needs to snap back to reality. Woo!
I'm almost done.
Ian and Winthorne dueling for the right to Misery's hand? It's Winthorne, right?
You'll know everything in a minute.
Both me and Annie are teetering in suspense right now. This is a good movie. This is a good movie. No matter how it ends, this is a good movie.
It's all right here. Does she finally marry Ian? Or will it be Winthorne?
Stone cold cocked her. Let's go. Oh. Oh. Got her like Dwight in the Office. Ah. Yeah. Some poetic justice, baby. Not the gonads. The Temple of Doom. Oh, shiitake. Mushrooms. Yeah, come on. Shirley. Got a different kind of pig on top of you. Now, if that's not the nail in the coffin, I'm hard pressed to imagine what is.
I'm getting is the Times Review is going to be a love letter.
That'll be a first.
I just realized the agent is Lauren Bacall. An hour and 40 minutes later.
In some way, Eddie Wilkes, that whole experience, helped me.
In some cruel, twisted way, tragedy brings artistic genius.
Even though I know she's dead, I still think about her once in a while.
I want to tell you I'm your #1 fan.
That's very sweet of you.
It's the last thing you want to hear, right? Oh, and they end the movie with "I'll be seeing you." I'm your #1 fan. You would never look at a fan the same way if you're Paul Sheldon. Well. That movie is profoundly satisfying. Especially seen within the context of it taking place pretty much all in one house. With the exception of the sheriff's trajectory. I love Stephen King's mind. I haven't read any of his books, and I think I'm remiss in doing that, but I might have to rectify that soon, because this is such a potent example of hearty writing. The dips, the turns, the emotional roller coaster, the character introduction and exposition and development throughout the course of this 100-minute movie was mystifying. I was intrigued from the opening frame to the last frame. From him writing and finishing that novel in the opening sequence to him bashing that whole head in at the end and having dinner with his agent, Lauren Bacall, who's still steamy, by the way. She aged beautifully. And it was just a transcendent experience of an overzealous fan played by Kathy Bates, who, come on now, if anybody ever deserved an Oscar, the character who's obviously unwell and unstable, but the actress was able to turn in such an intense and vivid performance like Kathy Bates did in this movie. It's unreal. It's unreal what she did. Her line readings, her capacity to emote and swing from emotion to emotion, from relative derangement to some humanity. There's a core of humanity in Kathy Bates' character Annie there, but not a lot of it got to see the light of day because she was so subsumed with villainy and evilness and treachery. And James Caan, a magnificent performance as this famous writer who's trying to, shift into another echelon of artistic creation, finishes a new work and crashes his car and gets abducted by a very passionate fan who's incandescent over his artistic creations and his abilities as a writer, who technically nurses him somewhat back to health. At least he didn't die, but in her pursuit of his artistic perfection, she's willing to kill him in order to preserve the idea of this writer and the closure of his series of misery. Stephen King, I doff my proverbial cap to you. Yeah, this was a nutritional film. In movies, you love the experience of the equation, like how 1 + 1 = 2. You know, if we pull back and in retrospect, the formula of this movie was kind of hidden in plain sight. But while you're going through, you showing your work, like the teacher used to say. While Stephen King and Rob Reiner were showing the work, it left one engaged and compelled and completely engrossed by this film. That is the power. I was about to say that's the power of love, but that is the power of the cinema, film in general, and this movie in particular, to really grab you by your frontal lobes and force you to contemplate unpredictable situations and undesirable situations in this case. James Caan, man, I think, and I also love the sheriff and his wife's relationship. You know, it was an eccentric balance of love and sardonic comments. I got a kick out of that, man. I appreciate you all voting for this movie because I have experienced some emotional growth after having watched it. And it was a hoot and a half. Dare I say a hoot and 3/4. I think it's somehow a commentary on parasocial relationships. You know, fans and artists, celebrities and people who follow them and enjoy their work or what they represent in society, in the ecosystem of celebrity culture. We see it a lot. Like right now we're going through it with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, but John Mulaney highlighted this phenomenon of a parasocial relationship. John Mulaney highlighted this phenomenon of a parasocial relationship. And, people have such strong feelings and convictions about who a person is. But like Friedrich Nietzsche said, you have to learn to separate the art from the artist. You have to learn to do it. Otherwise, you can get into a misery type situation and worse. I know it's not all that dire, but the way it's rendered in this situation is really eye-opening for me. And I like the effective use of the jump scares. There were twice where I really damn near jumped out of my skin. Like once when he woke up in the middle of the night and she was standing over him, the camera cut back. Oh, that was brutal. That was a brutal camera cut. And the sting as well. Also, when she wasn't dead after she bonked her head on the side of the typewriter. And I appreciate the fact that he stuffed the ashes of his work in her mouth. It's like, eat it, you just what you want, you got it. A little poetic justice. This movie was spellbinding. And I appreciate you guys watching it with me today. It's a beautiful commentary of an artist's relationship with his audience. Insofar as, let's say you create something like a Jordan Peele's Get Out. From that point forward, everyone wants to see more Get Out material, but he kind of took a left turn with Us, and a lot of people didn't like it. I personally love Us, but same with Ari Aster. Ari Aster made Hereditary, and people are using the Hereditary yardstick to measure Midsommar, and consequently Beau is Afraid and Jordan Peele's Nope. So it's kind of a challenge. I can see that being a challenge of you developing a fan base and they loving you for a particular work, but you want to, flex your muscles, get some range, use a little variety, and them holding you to an unfair standard for trying to transfigure yourself, transmute into a fully fledged and well-rounded creator. So it's something to think about. But thank you guys for recommending this movie to me. I enjoyed it. I'm going to throw another poll up soon to mull over a couple of options. If you haven't seen Exorcist, I did The Exorcist to kick off this month, and that got my head in a little a doozy of a spin, and this Misery was a perfect complement to that movie. And I don't know what I'm watching next, but I know it's going to be in the realm. I may do a comedy horror, just to get another nice balance. So we'll see. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around to this far. And if you want these videos early that I post here to YouTube, and if it's within your means, go ahead and navigate over to the Patreon, Mr. Valentine Reacts. A couple of options for you over there. Gonna get some exclusive content posted soon. And I'm stoked. I'm stoked that I'm a YouTube partner. I'm having some progress on this channel, and a little recognition goes a long way by way of your subscription. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, hit that like button. Leave me some comments down below. It really helps with the algorithm. That enigmatic bitch. Okay. That's about it. I'm starting to get a little wacky. I guess I'm still giddy from the unfolding of this narrative. So, as always, till we meet again.